There we go. So welcome, James, to our first question this episode tonight.
Should be a great night. Look forward to it, Shae.
So tonight's really about sharing our experiences, more so your lived experiences of dyslexia and what it's been like for you as an adult. How old were you when you were diagnosed with dyslexia?
Yep. If I remember correctly, I was 14 when I was initially diagnosed, but I have been diagnosed again as an adult.
And what were the reasons why you ended up being diagnosed to start with?
In the initial, I think it was just my poor performance in the schoolroom, just identified by my family as, I was relatively switched on. I seemed to be intelligent, but I just couldn't get there with some subjects, mainly English.
And then how come you ended up being assessed again as an adult?
That was more for workplace purposes, just experiencing some challenges in the workplace, again, coming back to the English side of things, and just hoping to get some reasonable adjustments eventually.
Did that help you, having that assessment again?
It helped a little bit, but really that's just the first step. It's all about the cultural change that's needed in the workplace, so actually to value the assessment and to respect the recommendations, which is a bridge too far in some instances.
I should say to our listeners that James and I have known each other now for about a year, and he's one of our board directors who's based in Ipswich in Queensland. And it was our first kind of branch out into state with our board. And it's been great working with James. So I should say first, thank you for coming on tonight to talk about
that's all right.
that and how we've met each other.
That's it.
So can you talk a little bit about how dyslexia affects you day to day?
Day to day, probably it's a challenge, I guess, in short. It's a challenge when it comes to communicating in the written format, and to overcome that challenge requires a little bit of effort on my part. And if I'm not focusing, it can actually lead to some large challenges doing my job and just communicating in general.
And what about outside of work?
Outside work, I have studied at university, and it's the same sort of thing. Like, you may understand the content, you may understand the technicalities of the issue, but actually just writing a basic sentence or communicating via email, that's where the challenge comes in.
Do you have any tools that you use that help you at work?
I have nothing formally that's been provided, unfortunately, but I have downloaded the free Grammarly software, and obviously rely on Google and other online forums to try to get those spell checks right.
I love Grammarly. I've now got the paid version. I don't know if you've got the paid version or the free version.
No, unfortunately.
So I ended up paying for it myself. I think it's about $50 for a license for 3 months.
Okay.
And it just has a few more features than the free version. I think especially for people that are studying, it's really helpful as well.
Yeah, I'd love to get it. I kind of think it should be left up to the workplace to pay for those things, so I'm resisting at this stage.
Yeah, I think I had to buy it for uni, though I think uni probably could have purchased a license for me.
Yeah.
But I just found it much easier to be able to just pay for it myself.
Yeah, and I think that's the unfortunate thing. A lot of people with disability, it doesn't have to be dyslexia, they just buy it themselves, so they just amend their own behaviour. And it kind of lets the workplace off, be it in the university sector or just any sector in itself. So solving our own problems almost hides them.
Do you think there's any ways we could be working with workplaces to educate and support them around helping us excel?
Yeah, definitely. It's the education piece and the awareness piece. Just trying to make sure workplaces are aware that individuals in their cohort suffer from these conditions. With a little bit of help, you can actually increase productivity dramatically.
And are there any other things you'd like the workplace or people in general to know a bit more about what life's like having dyslexia?
I guess just the main thing, if you come across someone with dyslexia or similar disability, is just a little bit of understanding that a misspelt word or incorrect punctuation, isn't the end of the world. Just try to focus on the outcomes and the amount of effort it takes someone like us to get that sentence perfect is probably about 10 times it does a regular person. So that's probably why we're tired a lot of the time and potentially stressed a lot of the time at the same time.
Yes, emails can take me such a long time to write, and it might be a short one. And
Yeah,
it still might be half an hour for a few sentences to make sure I've got it all correct.
that's right. And often I see emails where I have a misspelt word and it's like cringe-worthy.
Do you have to do a lot of writing for work outside of emails?
Yeah, unfortunately, my job's a lot about writing. So I just have to start things early. I do a lot of redrafts and I do reach out for help when it's available to do some proofreading for me.
It's all about redrafting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even though sometimes I find it hard because it doesn't matter how much I've redrafted, I still can't see what I've done.
Yeah, that's it.
Still
You read
can't see
over your
mistakes.
mistakes a lot easier than others.
And so why do you think it's important for, do you think, men in particular to be talking about dyslexia if it's affecting their mental health and well-being?
I think dyslexia impacts many males because it impacts potentially the stereotypical image of being the provider, being the problem solver. And it's a problem that isn't easily solved, it's only ever managed. And when you come up against that hurdle on a daily basis, it can really bring you down. Often you can easily fall into the trap of feeling like the dumb person in the room or the person that needs the extra help. When in reality, I think everyone operates differently, everyone has different insights, but that's not always valued.
Yeah, I think the pandemic's really helped us shift around how we look at people that have different strengths in the workplace. And I think how dyslexic people in particular can be using some of their strengths right now rather than feeling like the dumb person in the room. Do you think, what type of strengths do you think you bring to the workplace?
I think most dyslexics have a different way of looking at problems, so they can probably bring innovative solutions to the table. So often we don't view things as, a straight linear problem set, but we can actually visualize a couple of different scenarios and couple of different possibilities. And so when you can do that, I think you can actually find a unique solution or identify the gap there others may look over.
And we've been putting out a lot of information around working towards people's strengths currently. Do you think how has the Dear Dyslexic Foundation helped you since you've come on board?
I guess it's about the sense of community that's established and a little bit of sense of purpose and hope that by this family we're developing, by this tribe, we can reach that critical mass that actually gets real change in the workplace. That people won't have to reach out and seek it, that's just going to be a standard occurrence. And so via the organisation, I think we can really get there, and that's giving me a lot of motivation.
Yes, and you've been doing a lot of amazing work up in Queensland, which we're greatly appreciative of.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to when we can one day open an office up there.
That's
possibly virtual.
Study. That's it.
Are there any other key messages you'd like to talk about or for our listeners to know more about either what life's been like for you or what the foundation might be able to do for them?
Yep. I guess the key message and the difference I feel our organisation has over others is that we're not here about token gestures, we're here about real long-term change. And there's plenty of motivational quotes out there, plenty of people giving impassionate speeches, but we're really drilling down on the solutions, making workplace more accessible, making the community more understandable for people with challenges like this. So if you're looking for change, get on board, let's do it together. And we're really trying to be as inclusive as possible. And I think that's the key message I like to say. By inclusiveness, by including everyone, that's how you get the outcomes you need.
Yes, well, it takes a tribe to create change rather than just the individual, that's for sure. Well, thank you so much for coming on this show tonight. It doesn't look like we've got any questions from any of our viewers. So is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap it up this evening? Nice, short, sharp start to our Question Dys series.
That's right. We're very efficient here at our organisation. But yes, any questions, comments, please reach out to me, even if it's directly. I'm more than happy to take them and answer them fully.
And if you'd like to find out any more information about James or the work we're doing, please head to dyslexic.com. send us an email or call our 1-800 number. You can also join our Dyslexic closed community as well if you'd like further information or support. So thank you so much, James, for coming on the show tonight. We had the time right. We're the same time in Queensland.
That's right.
At the moment.
It's always helpful.
It is always helpful. And I look forward to talking to you again. So have a great night and take care.
You too. Thank you, Shae.
Bye for now.
See ya.